Good afternoon, everyone. I have just finished my previous vlog. I've just finished editing everything. It's uploading as we speak. But I have something to tell you. I went outside to feed the ducks before my students. I literally have tutoring in 12 minutes. My students will start showing up in 12 minutes. I went outside to feed the ducks, and remember how I've had this recurring issue with my thigh muscles? Right. You guys have all heard me talk about going to the doctor, trying to get x-rays and ultrasounds to figure out what's wrong, and still no solid answer. Anyway, as I was feeding the ducks, I squatted down to feed them their food, and lo and behold, as I tried to get up, I felt this shooting pain worse than I have ever felt in my legs. And as I stood up, I fell backwards and landed against their coop where they sleep. The ducks, Saoirse and Phoenix, ran off terrified because I had suddenly stumbled, and they obviously don't like any sudden movements. Any shocks or surprises terrify them. And now, when I can't even stand up straight. When I go to stand, I have to go very slowly. Oh my gosh, trying to walk, especially upstairs, is a nightmare. So now this here I usually feel it here, and I always talk about how to get up slowly and then I walk slowly until eventually it's fine. It has been an hour and a half since that happened, and I'm still feeling this unimaginable pain here. Standing isn't as bad once I take time to stand straight. If I start walking, I am limping beyond belief. So, and even going down is not exactly fun, but it's not as bad. Anyway, welcome to your 30s. No, I'm joking. This has got nothing to do with age. I think this has got something to do with poor exercise habits. Anyway, looks like I'll have to head off to the doctor tomorrow and try and sort this out, because I think it's off to a physio. I definitely should be going. I'm going to finish my tea though for now, and then I have a bunch of students that should be here very soon. And then, I don't know, I have to cook dinner, and I don't know, after that, I'll probably just have a relaxing evening, because to be honest, I don't think my legs will allow for much work after this. Good morning! It is so cold, and I'm trying to rack my brain through all these things that I should be grateful for so that I stop complaining about the cold. So in my mind, I've mentioned several times, I know, but I love the notion of gratitude. I have said this also many times. It saved my life growing up. The combination of gratitude mixed in with prayer is the only reason that whilst I was living with my mum, I didn't make what would have been, I am sure, very regretful choices. Let's put it that way. But ever since then, I read a book at the time that influenced this, just for context. But ever since then, every time I feel down about something or negative in any scenario, I go through some things that I should be grateful for. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm sitting in my mind, I'm like, it's cold, but you live in a wonderful country that allows you to have majority of the year warm. It's cold, but you have access to heating. It's cold, but you have really nice warm clothing, etc. You get the idea. Anyway, it is very early. It is 8:30 in the morning. Now, early for me, I mean to be leaving the house. I got up at 5:45 this morning because I got into bed early, and I said to myself I was going to read for longer than usual. I read for about 45 minutes, and then I was just too tired, and I ended up going to sleep just before 10 o'clock. My usual bedtime is about 10:30, 11. But last night rather, I was exhausted. I had worked really hard yesterday, actually. I got a lot done. And as a consequence, by nighttime, I was really tired. Anyway, I got up early, did all the things that I needed to do. I got the ducks out of the coop, I fed them, and then I prayed and I read and I made my breakfast, etc. Did a little bit of tidying up, got ready for the day, wearing the same thing as yesterday. All I did different was I changed my pendant to my locket. Instead of wearing that blue pendant that matched my jeans, I don't really like the style of it. In fairness, I was only wearing it yesterday because it matched my jeans, but I don't really like the style. Anyway, so I changed it to my locket, my grandparents' locket this morning, and I think also I wasn't wearing this ring yesterday, which is one of my favorite rings. Anyway, now all that is done. I am outside, as you can see, on my way to the shops. I have so much shopping to do today. That's why I was adamant when I got up earlier. I was like, that's actually great, because there is so much to get done and still get back with enough time to then lesson plan for my students. So I am on my way to my local garden center. I need to buy a couple of things just for the house. What else? I am on my way also to like our local tech store. I don't know what else you would term that. It's called Officeworks, but I appreciate that in Australia, well, I appreciate rather that majority of you that watch are not from Australia. And in Australia, we have businesses, companies, shops that are not in other countries. And so I don't want to confuse you all. So I tried to keep that in consideration. Anyway, I'm on my way to my local tech store. I have to get something for my printer. Then I have to go to the post office and pick up a package. Then I have to go to Aldi, which I know Aldi is international. I have to go to Aldi to get some groceries for the ducks because it's cheaper to get them there. Then I have to go to my other grocery store, which is called Coles. I don't think Coles is anywhere outside of Australia. And I need to get all the rest of my groceries. So I go to Aldi first, get a bunch of stuff because they are significantly cheaper for some things. For example, I have to get peas for my ducks, and they love their peas, and they are half the price in Aldi as what they would be in Coles. So it's so cold, my nose is starting to drip like a tap. Anyway, I am about to arrive at Officeworks, our tech store. I need to grab that. So basically yesterday when I was tutoring, my printer decided to notify me that the quote-unquote maintenance box has now essentially come to the end of its life and needs to be replaced. So that is what I am going to do first, because when I go home to lesson plan, I definitely need my printer in order to do so. Anyway, I shall try and bring you on all with me. That was bad English. I'll try and bring you all along with me on today's shopping journey. Thank you. Right, let's go. Right, and I am supposed to figure out where to get this object for my printer when there's all of these options. Well, don't mind me. Stop one was essentially a fail because I can't get this vest right. That's not the reason. Because this vest doesn't want to cooperate. They don't have what I want for my printer, and essentially I pretty much only have the option of getting it online, which is great because it's cheaper online. It's actually half the price, but I need it today for work. And don't get me wrong, my students' lessons for today are already ready and I can manage. But moving forward, like if it doesn't come, like let's say tomorrow or the next day, I don't know what I'm going to do with my students. Anyway, let's go to the next store. So this is Bunnings. What I was telling you is our local garden centre. Got a mat. All right, Bunnings done. I got a battery for my AirTag. I had to get a battery for my AirTag, which by the way has been without a battery for, I don't know, months anyway. It's been several months, I think at least 3, that it's been sitting there waiting for a new battery. Anyway, I also got a big black mat. Now, the rubber mat. 2 things. One, I got this because my grandfather got new rubbish bins, and you know how sometimes when you put things in the rubbish, I don't know, maybe we're just not the cleanest people, but sometimes bits of rubbish as a consequence ends up on the ground and it just starts to look disgusting. I think it's got a lot to do, in fairness now, I made that sound really bad. I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that we have a lot of children coming in and out of the house. So a lot of things get spilled, etc. Anyway, I wanted something that when the floor got dirty underneath the bins, it would be easier to just take outside and hose down, rather than going and constantly filling up the mop bucket and getting it ready to try and clean underneath. I hope that makes sense, because I know I made that sound a lot worse than it actually is at first. Anyway, so the second thing I wanted to say about this rubber mat is it had a price tag for $15. And then when I took it to the lady to scan it, it came up as on sale for $2. My heart. I love when things like that happen. Anyway, it is now time to head off to, where am I going next? Either Aldi or the post office. I'll decide on the way. Time for an iced tea. Well, I asked myself to try and get all the shopping done today in 2 hours. It has been 2 hours and 20 minutes, so not too bad, but I did achieve everything. I had to go to 5 different places and I achieved everything that I needed to do this morning. So luckily I am getting home with enough time to pack it all away, cook lunch, and then head straight down to do some work. But I will say that groceries are very expensive. I really don't know how some people manage with children. I don't have children. I don't know how people manage. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to rant about, just while I'm ranting, you see this necklace? Remember I said to you it was what I changed this morning? Well, I got the fright of my life when I was standing in the post office, because it had somehow, I don't know how, but somehow had gone inside my turtleneck and perfectly tucked itself away. I definitely did not do that. And I have like 4 layers on, so I'm surprised it made itself back there. Anyway, I'm standing in the post office and all of a sudden I just went, where's my necklace? And then I realized I didn't have my necklace. Well, thought I didn't. I thought it had fallen off somewhere. And so I started panicking, but I'm in public, so what could I say? So I just had to tell myself, like, be calm. Maybe it's fallen off in the car. Maybe, you can find it if you retrace your steps. Anyway, luckily I kept my cool and I was on the phone with my sister. She's like, are you sure it's not inside your shirt? And I'm like, no, I can't feel it, because it's quite a thick chain. But despite not being able to feel it, I eventually found it, like I mentioned, tucked inside. Anyway, thank freaking the Lord that I found it, because this locket is my grandparents' locket. It's got pictures inside of my grandparents, and it was a gift that they gave me 2 birthdays ago. Anyway, I am almost home, so I shall see you all at some point later on. I've packed everything away and I've decided to cook some salmon for lunch today. Your outfit is showing up very nice and bright on camera, which is nice. Okay, we have a very nice, what is this? This is not orange, it's like peachy, isn't it? Like a peachy color. Very peachy orange, I think. I can't believe you have a jacket that matches your pants, Granny.
Yeah, I got the 2 together in Rockman.
Oh, lovely. So, it's a really nice, soft, peachy...
Yeah, it's really warm.
Yeah, it's really nice. Peachy jacket, sorry. Orange pants, white sneakers. And we've got one of the new mustardy, orangey, more yellowy actually, kind of, turtleneck. Yeah, and look at these pearls. I actually haven't seen these.
That actually was supposed to be orangey.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It looks a bit orangey yellow, kind of. Yeah. These are nice. I haven't seen those before. Very nice.
No, I found them in
pearl earrings, and oh, would you look at that? Your scrunchie matches perfectly with your top. Very nice, Granny. Before I start work, I wanted to show you a few things that I got in the post. I have a package of more turtlenecks. I'll just give it away. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you. My last video that just went live, which will be, I think, 2 videos before this one goes live, was the Let's Talk Religion, where I opened up a little bit more about my faith and how I feel religiously speaking. And I'm so touched at how nice you all are being, because I know, especially as someone who's reared in a Catholic environment, I know how people often react when someone says that they feel a little bit more liberal in their religious approach, or spiritual rather. So it was really nice to see how you've all reacted. Now, it hasn't been 24 hours yet, so we'll see. But it's nice to know that I have such a beautiful community here that is so understanding. Is that the right word? It's so nice anyway, and I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Someone just commented and said, you know, she stuck her neck out there and everyone's been respectful, and that's exactly right. So thank you. I appreciate it. It's made me so happy because, you know, if anyone here is a content creator, you'll know that when you put yourself out there, the world therefore has opinions as a consequence. I get it. So it is a lot of the time a little bit nerve-wracking when you talk about touchy subjects like religion or politics, and sometimes even things like culture. So anyway, thank you. So moving on, before it is already 1:30 and I need to go lesson plan. My first student will be here in 2 hours and I've got some other work I need to get done before then. But I just want to show you, I got more turtlenecks because I am freezing. I will stop talking about how cold I am, but I am cold. So I got a couple more of these turtlenecks. My grandmother got some too. I think the one that I just showed you that she's wearing now is one of the ones that she just got as well. I don't know. I ordered 4 new ones and she ordered 5. I don't remember if that was one of the 5 that she got this time or the previous time, but her and I have both ordered about 10 turtlenecks all up because they are one of the only things keeping us warm. So this really nice, like softer, what would you call this type of green? Sage green? Is this like a sagey type of green, I think? I'm not sure. And then I wear a lot of black. Black tends to be the accessory that I pair everything with. When in doubt, I always add black. But I see a lot of people that have more of a tan accessory. Now, this is not tan, but it's brown. And I would like to try and incorporate more brown or tan into my outfits. So here we have a nice chocolatey brown turtleneck. I really do like this color. Brown isn't, I will always be someone who accessorizes with black more than any other color. But hopefully, if I can get nice shades of brown like that one, I will do so more. And then I also got this dusty blue, I think this is what it was called, dusty blue turtleneck, which is almost like a gray blue. And I don't like gray. Gray is one of the only colors that I won't buy unless it's for pajamas. I don't know. I'm not someone who has issues with colors in general. I like all colors for the most part, especially green, but gray, yeah, not so much. Anyway, and then I got another one of these. Now, yes, I already have this color. However, it has a stain. So I won't waste it. I'll wear it at home, but for when I want to wear things going out, or even for work, because the stain one I won't wear for work. But if it's the weekend, I'll wear it at home. So yeah, I got another one. This is the either baby pink or dusty pink. I'm not sure. Anyway, they are super cheap and super warm, so I'm very happy. Now it is time to clean up the mess of what I just unpacked and head off to do some lesson planning. Oh yeah, and same as what I was wearing yesterday. I don't know why I have a bit of a love-hate relationship happening with this vest. I like my overall outfit. I like the kind of like country vibe that this is all giving. But I find, Jesus, I've just realized how much the mirror needs to be cleaned. I just definitely think that the bulkiness of this can kind of not give me the nice, timeless fashion type of style that I'm going for. Anyway, I do prefer it with this pendant to the one I had yesterday, although the one I had yesterday matched as well. And I just felt like adding in, adding in my, not that it wants to focus, there we go, green ring. Okay, let's pack these away and then go work. I could actually cry right now because I am so touched from how beautiful some of the comments that I just read again. So I've just sat down in front of my laptop to start doing some work, and I thought I'll just quickly check the comments, see if there are any I haven't replied to. And the 2 last comments on that vlog where I said let's talk more about religion, I noticed that there were a couple comments I hadn't replied to, and so I was reading them, and I got so emotional with one of them specifically because someone was talking about their comparisons between their understanding of Christianity in the Middle East and Islam and Judaism in America. And it just really got me thinking. Now, the only type of activism, if you can call it that I've ever actively participated in is for victims of child abuse. And I just think that sometimes it might be also nice and beneficial but scary all at the same time to touch on interfaith activism. And essentially what I mean by that, or what I would like to assume presume everyone means by that, is just pushing an ideal of peace and harmony between us, which I fully appreciate is an extremely difficult notion to achieve, should it be achieved. So I'm not going to elaborate on that, but like, the comment just touched me so much, because it was talking about how, you know, in the Middle East, there are Christian Arabs that love the time of Ramadan. And I agree. I used to have a lot of exposure to the Muslim community, and I used to enjoy Ramadan because I used to go out for the night markets, for food street, as we'd call it, and things like that. We'd go and get our henna done. We'd get dressed up for Eid. I can't say that word properly, even though I'm half Arab. Arabic is not a language I'm fluent in. So every time I go to pronounce the ayn, I always sound so foreign, ironically. Eid. Maybe if I just don't think about it so much, it will happen naturally. But anyway, excuse the lighting. I realize I'm going in and out. Anyway, so I just thought I'd share that with you all. It was just really nice to see such a positive response to such what is usually a heated topic. So yeah, and then somebody else also commented about how they were an atheist to begin with and found Christianity later, and so, you know, who is he or anyone to judge someone else's relationship with God when everyone else's is so different anyway. So that is really nice, and I thought I would like to repeat that sentiment with you all, because I so agree with it. Anyway, maybe now I don't feel as shy or as nervous sharing my religious thoughts with you all, now that I know you guys are so understanding. So thank you again. But and also somebody said that they started following my content because they wanted to learn more about Christian Middle Eastern culture. I am so on board with talking more about it. I just didn't want to mislead anyone either. So I can just see my ducks right in front of me, because their duck pen is the other side of this door, just pecking away at each other cutely. But yes, I'm more than happy to talk more about our practices, religiously, culturally, combined, etc. So stay tuned. I will do my best to try and do that. But for now, I really should get back to work. But thank you again. I had just come out for a quick cup of tea, you know, a little tea break. And actually 3 o'clock, as we say in my family. And I just thought I'd show you, look how nice and autumnal this plant looks. This is my blackberry tree, but it is winter, not autumn rather. And so I just think this is a sign to show you how warm our weather is, even though I tell you how cold I am all the time, considering that this is only starting to turn into these beautiful autumnal colours now. But speaking of beautiful, if we go over to the duck pen, look how pretty you two look in the sunshine. Oh God, look at that little butt wiggle. Oh, pretty and golden. Oh, nice little face squatch. That is, I was about to say Darwish, oh my gosh. That is Phoenix at the back and Saoirse in the front. Enjoy your afternoon swim, my loves. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, it is so cold that there is now frost all atop the grass. But needless to say, the sun is still giving us somewhat of a glorious show. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Dressed and ready for the day. It's actually so weird sometimes, even still, when I look in the mirror and I see how brown my hair has gotten. I spent years dyeing it black. So to see it go back to its more brown, well, it's got so much red and ginger highlights in it that sometimes I don't even know if I could call it brown, but it's brown essentially. This is my outfit for the day. I tried on so many skirts today. I was committed to wearing a skirt and stockings because I'm fed up of how much I've been wearing those mum jeans for work. Turns out, I mentioned a long time ago to you all that I cut out ultra processed foods and I've lost more weight. Now I already lost weight throughout last year, and by the start of this year I had realized I'd lost, I believe it was about 12 or 13, it was either 12 or 13 kilos, much of a muchness, over the course of the previous year. And I think I've lost even more because I've just gone to try on so many of my skirts that are now in my sewing basket because they need to be altered because they no longer fit me. So I'm trying to tell myself that that is not an excuse to buy more work clothes, and instead I need to learn how to just alter them because my sewing skills are so limited. But hopefully I won't dodge them up and hopefully I will be able to salvage them. However, I am wearing my Christmas skirt that I bought 2 Christmases ago. I can't believe how fast that's already gone. I feel like I just bought this recently, but it is a year and a half ago now. So this is like, well, what would you call this kind of a black watch? That's it. I couldn't think of the name for a second. Black watch tartan. I love it with my stockings, my black flats. I've tucked in at the front my cropped black jumper with a turtleneck, some green and silver jewelry, my black bow. I hope you saw that. And you know, before I finish this video, because I need to go up and cook lunch for my grandparents, you know what I realized today? Something kept feeling off with my outfits a lot recently. And I've realized that when I'm wearing a turtleneck, I don't like wearing a necklace because I feel like it gives off like nun vibes, like I'm dressing like a nun. Now I appreciate I often try to dress modestly, but that doesn't mean I want to look like I am a nun. So a member of the Order of the Sisters of St. Clair's or something like that. I just want to look more modest, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to look like a nun. So I have taken the necklace off because I realize that's what's adding to it. But you know what I do need to do? I need to clean this mirror. Anyway, back away. Anyway, that's your wrap. I will probably show you what my grandmother is wearing, and I need to go make their dinner and then head back into work. I actually haven't vlogged much today. I got dressed and ready for the day really early, and I've just been in my office working, but hopefully I'll vlog a little bit more today. Jeez. All right, lunch is all done and now it's time to show you what Granny is wearing. I like this cardigan, very nice long cardigan. Yeah. It's got almost like a little cable knit running through it, which is lovely. I don't know. Well, it's, what color are we going to call this? Because I feel like I'm going to get it wrong.
Brown.
Light brown. Okay, brown.
The name should be on the back of it there, I would imagine.
It is from Susan Gray. With, you're wearing one of your older turtlenecks that I've seen you wear maybe once or twice before. Very nice. Some cream pants, white sneakers. I like your necklaces. I remember when you got this in Italy. Yeah. We were in Pompeii, I remember.
I do forget it.
Yeah, it's so nice and it matches perfectly with the cardigan.
And Dominic's.
Yeah, you and I got the same one at Christmas for 1 year. Very nice. And oh, look, nice silver and pearl earrings. And a cream scrunchie matching the rest of the cream. Yeah. Very nice, Granny.
What did this one say?
This says right hand forte. What does forte mean, Baba?
Loud.
Loud. Good girl. Middle C. 5-finger exercise, Baba. I have positively just been talking to myself for at least 3 or 4 minutes without 5 minutes. Without realizing that this wasn't recording. I seldom do it, but when I do it, it is very irritating. Anyway, I have a quick break in between my students at the moment, so hence why it looks so dark. I know the lighting quality can often be shite on this channel. I promise I will get better at that eventually, but it is especially bad now because it is so late in the day. But before my next student comes, which is in 10 minutes, I only have a very short break in between these two students. So I wanted to use this time because I did mention earlier that I was going to try and vlog more today, and that hasn't happened. But I wanted to use this time to tell you what I meant the other day when I said I was in a really good mood and I think I know why, and I'll sit on it for a little bit, and once I'm sure, I'll tell you. Okay, that, when I mentioned that, remember I was standing next to the toilet. I can't remember if that was in this vlog or the previous vlog, but it was recent anyway. If some of you may have noticed, used to post on social media every single day, at least one short video every single day. And I think over the last, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, roughly speaking, I've been casually transitioning to every second day. There have been times where I'm like, let's go back to posting every day. It's a job. If you want something to be a job, you have to treat it like a job, and so show up every day. But then so much has been happening because I tell myself, but you're still running a tutoring business full time. You're still trying to write full time. You still have all these other things that you're doing. So then I tell myself it's okay to treat one part-time when you've got others that are full-time, etc. Anyway, I can talk more about that if you guys want, but rather than boring anyone that doesn't want to hear about that, I wanted to basically say what I think I've cracked the code on is that social media, I used to think that I was immune to this, but social media is having a massive impact on my mental health, which is really bad when you consider I'm a content creator. It's a part of my job. I need to be on social media. But I'm realizing for a lot of reasons that I can't go into depth right now, purely because my student will be here in now 8 minutes, and I definitely don't need them walking in on that kind of a conversation. I definitely don't want them walking in when I'm vlogging, so I'll wrap this up quickly. If, like I mentioned, if anyone wants to hear more about that, I'll talk more about it. But I've realized, long story short, it's not conducive to my mental health. It's something that consumes a lot of my time unnecessarily, and I mean more so than just for the purpose of content creation. I spend way too much time focusing on negative aspects that come with social media. For example, negative comments or unrealistic expectations of myself, etc. So I decided over the last 3 to 6 months to go and post every second day. And that isn't necessarily great for my engagement. However, it has been great for my mental health, especially recently. Over the last, I think, week or 2 weeks, I think it's been about almost 2 weeks, I promised myself that from now on the days where I'm not posting, I would not open social media at all. Game changer. And the reason I mention it now is, aside from wanting to touch base with what I alluded to previously, yes, it is what has been making me happy. On the days where I don't open social media, I have the energy of a child. I am invigorated. And then on the days that I do open it, slowly but surely as the day progresses, my mental health declines. I feel like this isn't something I probably should have touched on so briefly here. I think I will probably start the next vlog talking about this a bit better. But I just wanted to bring this up here. I didn't want to drag it out, bringing it up, seeing as I had already mentioned it before, any longer. And I will end the vlog here, and I wanted to just bring this up to see what your thoughts are, what you guys think about that. Maybe some of you are content creators yourselves and you have some like-minded thoughts that you'd like to share, or maybe you guys just aren't content creators and therefore don't have an inherent bias and can give me your holistic perspective on the matter. I am at a crossroads with my life. I've also mentioned this before, where I feel like I need to quit something. So for example, do I quit tutoring and go full-time content creation? I don't know. I really don't know. I've mentioned before how this confuses me a lot because I don't know what the right thing is to do. But I am at a crossroads in my life and where I have too much happening. I am a piano tutor, I am an English tutor full time. I'm talking 5 days a week for hours and hours a day, not just tutoring, but lesson planning in advance for all my students. I am a writer full time. I write every single day working on books. I am poetry as a poet. I am a content creator. Up until recently, I was pushing content every single day. I've gone now this year posting every second day, but I filled in that gap by vlogging every day. So I post 2 vlogs a week. So really, I actually made my job harder because vlogging takes up more time in both editing and in filming than short content ever did. Plus I have family. Plus I have my partner, plus I have my garden, which, yes, by the way, does take a lot of time to maintain. Anyone that is in gardening will understand that whether your garden be small or big, it takes up more time than you realize. I have my ducks. They also take up part of my time in the day. Anyway, I have talked already for 6.5 minutes. My student will be here in 3-ish minutes. I better go. I will wrap this vlog up here, but I just like to know what you guys think, because like I mentioned, I'm at a crossroads. I'm very confused by how social media makes me feel. And don't get me wrong, it is amazing. It has been one of the best things that have ever happened to me. However, I've just gotten to a point where the minor negative aspects of social media are impacting my mental health, and I'm not sure how to manage it. Anyway, like I said, I'll talk better about this tomorrow when I start my new vlog, but for now, let's leave this vlog here. I better head back to work. I better open the door again for my next student, who I really hope is not outside listening to this. But thank you all again for watching, and until next time, everyone, much love and God bless.